got the first few into the alley, and we got the first one through here. She popped her head in. The head catch worked exactly like it was supposed to. Now we're gonna squeeze her in and make her nice and snug, and we'll give her a spin. We received the equipment late on Monday evening and been working on it a little off and on all week, getting everything set up, and had to make some modifications that I'll go over here in just a second. But I'll walk you through the process and how it's going to work. So we've got our corral panels here, and we'll pull this one here back and open that up where they can get into the barn. So we'll have this doubled back up on itself like this, so they've got a nice wide opening to go into the barn like they're accustomed to doing. And I've modified my gate here where it'll swing inward. And then once we have them in the barn, we'll pull this gate. Well, once we have them in the barn, we'll close that gate out there. The panel, we'll pull the panel back up to the barn, and then we'll pull this back and latch it to our pin right there on the side of the barn. And then we'll open the gate back up inside the barn, and we'll push them into the corral panel there, and then we'll close the gate behind them and latch that, and then they'll be locked in between the gate and the corral. Now, it won't matter if some don't come through and they stay in the barn and others go through. We can do them in little groups. But the ones that do go through, we'll have them. We'll keep the gate shut here, and then we'll apply a little pressure. We'll pull our guillotine gate here, and we'll push 2 or 3 through into the alleyway, and we'll drop the guillotine gate behind them. And then once they're in the alley, they've only got one place to go, and that's into the spin chute. So that's their view that they're gonna see. So the idea is once they get in there, they'll go through like this, and they're gonna wanna go through that head catch. And then when they go through, that's gonna latch, and their head will be trapped in there. And then I'll just close each side up, depending on the size of the animal. And then once they're closed in, press this little button right here and pull up, and I can stop this baby right about there. Get back here, we can see the angle. So their feet's going to be up in this area here. Their head's going to be, well, their butt's going to be right there. Their head's going to be down yonder in the head catch. I'll pull this little latch right here and drop the floor out. And now this is where their feet and their belly will be sticking up right here. And they won't be able to go anywhere, theoretically. This thing works the way that it's supposed to. Then I can stand here at a comfortable height. They're comfortable for the most part. They're not gonna really enjoy this, but they'll enjoy it better than me wrestling them to the ground and trying to hold them. They'll be relatively comfortable. They won't be in pain. They'll just be a little stressed mentally. And then I can work on their feet. I'll have both hands available. I can have me a table over here with all my tools where they can't knock the table over, where they can't spill any liquids that I might have, any medicines. And I can just have things set up in a much better fashion. Once I'm done, shouldn't take too long. Pull this back up, the floor. Slide that back in. Hard to do it one-handed too. And then press my paddle again. And I can either, pretend we're in the county fair and go all the way around, give them a nice spin, or we'll go back the way we came, which is what we'll do. We won't terrorize them. And then once it's locked back into position, release the clamp on each side, freeze them up. Now they can begin to de-stress a little bit. Oh, I forgot one important thing. Once they run in here, I'll have to close this behind them where they can't go backwards and get out, or another one can't get in with them if they're smaller. And I'm sure I'll make a mistake or two the first few times until I get muscle memory and don't have to think about it. And then we'll release the, see if I can push this out. And we'll release the latch here, pull that forward, and now they can go through into the next section. And once they're through, we'll close this behind them. And the next thing that we'll have them do is go through, again, this is their view, and they'll come through. And what we're going to have down in the bottom here, this is one of the modifications that I had to make. That black tub is going to hold the foot treatment. It's a zinc-based treatment that kills the bacteria that causes foot rot. And my plan was to just set that tub in the bottom of the head catch here, and it would actually sit right down there on the edge of that rail and stick up about this high above the bottom of the, so they'd have to step over the edge of the tub to get into it. Unfortunately, the tub is pretty much just exactly the same size as the head catch, so it doesn't fit inside. So what I did is I just made a frame to go around the tub and for the head catch to set on. And so they will have a step up, which might be a little awkward for them. We'll have to see how that goes. I might have to build a little ramp or maybe fill in with some sawdust or something there where they've got a little bit of a walk up to it. But then they're going to step down into that brine that'll soak their feet. And again, they've got a little step up right here, so that might interfere with them hitting this head catch. But we'll just have to see how it goes. Now I've got this adjusted a little wider to kind of invite them to go through. When they do, their shoulders should push that forward. Their head will be stuck in here, and they'll just be standing all 4 feet in that brine, soaking their feet. And of course, I have to close this behind them, keep them from going out. And we'll keep them in this brine for at least 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and just let that soak in real good, especially on the first treatment, because there's so many of them that's never had it. And while one is soaking, another can be in the alleyway here, and 1 or 2 can be in the alleyway here, and then another one can be in the spin chute that I'm working on while this one is over here soaking. And then once I get through with one in the chute, I can come down here and release the one that's in here. Let them go out. Close this back. Open this up. Invite the next one in. Close it back. Let the one out of the chute into the alleyway, bring another one into the chute, and just repeat the process. So again, lots of little steps involved in it, but this should take a lot of the stress and frustration out of it for everybody. Well, we got all but one of them corralled up here in the barn. Precious, our 3-legged one, escaped us, but we're starting with what we got. So we got almost everybody, and we're going to give us a shot. So we got everything set up, and we'll take a few of them here and move them from the barn into this holding area, and then we'll start feeding them through the guillotine gate into the alley, and we'll get this circus started. Probably enough. The rest of y'all can wait. Y'all will be Group B, y'all will be Group A. Get back to the side. Watch the progress of the first group. Somebody go first. Somebody be the first. Come on. Head that way. Come on. Come on in there. Somebody go first. There you go. Get on there. Get on there.
She turned her head.
going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. Gotta keep going. Somebody else going. Come on, Stella. Good job. That's probably clean. That's probably clean. Alright. Come on. That's alright. Come on.
Just kick him with your.
What do you do when something works really good?
Hey, just kick him with your boot to push on in and then let it shut. I'm done so getting this one.
Y'all, I'm old. I don't think I can do it. Yeah. I'll come over with you. This is Lucy. Lucy, say hello to everybody. How do you like your salon day? Is it going okay so far? What do you mean you're scared? It's okay. Yeah. You'll feel better. Your feet sure do need it. Look at them feet. We'll get you cleaned up, baby. You want us to paint red or brown nails? Blue, okay. I think we've got green. All right, so we got the first few into the alley, and we got the first one through here. She popped her head in. The head catch worked exactly like it was supposed to. And we're gonna squeeze her in and make her nice and snug, and we'll give her a spin. Look at her.
She's
Okay,
like,
baby?
what the crap?
It's all right. It's all right. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Now, yeah, you've needed some foot trimming for a while. Come on around here, baby. Let me show people what happens. So, I just trimmed that edge off right there. See how her feet just gets all a little gnarly, just like a fingernail. See how that's this is kind of growing over and under. Well, that's what happens, and then all this poo and dirt and bacteria gets trapped up in there, and eventually they'll get foot rot. So we got to keep that trimmed.
You know what we forgot to do?
What?
Oh, you got the bath.
Yeah, we'll do that after we get her loose. You okay, girl?
This is so much better than tackling them.
Yes, it is. And it's not easy to do. It's so hard to get an angle on their feet. See, that part is kind of bad. This is just from not doing it when it needed to be done. And so she really needs that foot bath. She's okay right now. She don't have an infection. But
look at her.
she liking her day at the salon?
So far she is. She's chill.
And see, I drew a little bit of blood right there. Not much, but just a little bit.
But
that's okay.
just kidding. Sorry. Went down too far.
Looking in between, she looks like she's okay up in there. A lot of dirt and stuff right there I want to dig out.
Want me to keep going still? Leo, Louie, you gonna show them how it works?
Well, it's about 10:30. I think we started about 8:30 by the time we got everything set. So in 2 hours, we've treated 6 sheep. So it's not going quite as fast as maybe a seasoned pro would do, and it's been still a good amount of effort. Their feet, well, and the problem is that several of them that we've treated so far, their feet have never really been trimmed. I just haven't been able to get a hold of them, so we're trying to catch up. I think if they'd have been treated and been trimmed on a regular basis, this would probably go a lot smoother. We did find a couple that have the beginnings of a little bit of foot rot, so we're giving everybody a good soak. But I think the soak in that foot bath will help a whole lot. And we'll run them back through. We'll check them weekly. The ones that have foot rot, we'll check them weekly and put them back through the foot bath, and just keep doing that until we see some improvement. So, but it's definitely been worth the investment. Just so far, it's allowed us to do what we need to do to them, and look at different things, and I can take a break when I need to take a break and rest my arms or rest my back, and they're not too let me see if I can flip that. I can't flip that around. They're not too upset. They know something's up, but these guys that are in the next group are just taking it easy and chilling. And then we got the group in the barn, so we still got quite a few to work through. Well, 33 sheep, and we've done 6 so far, so don't think we'll finish today, but we'll get a good start on it, and maybe we can wrap them up tomorrow. There's the guys that we've already taken care of down there. You can see the green dye that's on their feet. One of them kind of fell down in it and got it all over her rear end and her belly. So. Whew. Well, y'all, it was a long, hard day. We started early this morning, got all of our stuff together, and it took us about 5.5 hours to work. I think it was 12 of the sheep. And then, and we weren't feeling good. Mama wasn't feeling good. It turned out later she was running a fever. I'm not feeling so hot, but you know, this has been long overdue. So we had to do what we had to do, and we got a little over half of them done, and we've got 12 to go. Well, we did 4 more this afternoon. I did 4 more this afternoon. Mama's in the house trying to recover. And so I guess that made, well, I ain't got my numbers straight right now. I have to look at my paper. But anyway, I think there's 12 still in the barn. I counted. And the rest of them we got done and turned them out back into the barn lot here. So tomorrow after church, we'll take probably about 3.5 hours to finish these last 12. But overall, it went good. It was still hard work, even though we had the equipment. But the key is it makes it possible. It's not possible, or I'll say it's impractical to do it any other way. And it's still a chore, but at least it's a manageable chore. And it'll get better. Today we had to do, you know, a year's worth of catch up on some of these. So it was a lot of trimming and some gnarly hooves, and it was just tough work. You know, once we've put them through several iterations of this process, and we got their feet back in good shape, then keeping them maintained should be a lot easier, and we should have fewer problems. So it's going to be tough work for the next couple of months as we get them back to where they need to be. But I'm very grateful that we've got the equipment and got the means now to do what they need. So I think I'm gonna go try to relax, get something to eat, and watch a football game. Hey, Louie. Yeah, Louie's helping me work on the sheep today. Looks like a war zone around here. Got that mat cut off courage. Duchess, you can get up, darling, and go out. So we're tagging them. Got several different instruments there to use. The green pair of pliers here are pruning shears is the main one that I use. Got the little one here for like the smaller lambs that have the softer pads rather, and file and a brush, and use that box blade to cut her hair off. Come on, baby, come on out. You can go. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 queued up, and then 3 left in the barn, counting Norman. And Norman counts as 4 by himself. So got a little bit to go. Hope to finish up today. Come on, Duchess. Show everybody how to go down there in that foot bath. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go. Oh, sorry, darling. Come on, let's go. Jump in there. Go on. Well, that wasn't the most gracious. You gonna try to get out? Huh? Go through. Go through, baby. Get your head stuck. And I don't mind if you just want to stand there as long as you don't drink it. You gonna go? You're a good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. Well, our new system did pretty much exactly what we were hoping it would do. It was a long weekend, and it was still a lot of work, but it made it practical to be able to do the things we needed to do to the sheep. The spin chute worked great. The one thing that I'll say that's kind of ironic, the system probably works better when you've got sheep that are not absolutely terrified of you, but have a moderate degree of skittishness. The biggest problem that we had was actually because they're not so afraid of me. When they go into the spin chute here, or when they would go into the head catch down there for the foot bath, a lot of them just didn't have the flight instinct to drive their head through the head catch and get caught. So they really need to be in the head catch in the spin chute, otherwise they can move around too much, even with the sides squeezed in. So I'd kind of have to push them forward a little bit, and they'd understand what I was trying to get them to do. So that was a little problematic, but it wasn't a big deal. But I think if they were a little more scared of me, that flight instinct would cause them to jump forward and activate the head catch. So that was an unexpected challenge that we had. The ones that are a little more flighty were great about getting in there and then trying to get out, of course, and activating the head catch and doing exactly what we needed them to do. So the friendlier ones, we kind of had to coax in there a little bit. But even Norman, I'll be honest with you, I was worried about Norman. Norman's a big animal, very strong, and he's been super friendly ever since we've had him. And I didn't know if this was going to trigger him, cause him to be bring out another side of his personality that we hadn't seen. But he just walked up in there and let me work on his feet real good, and stood in the bath, and he's just a good boy. But yeah, it was good. It was again hard on the back in a lot of cases, but I have some issues with that, so that's not necessarily the equipment's fault, but worked out good. Good investment. Happy we made it. There'll probably be some modifications that we'll make. Like one thing that would have been handy is back here to have a man gate right here. Just a little 3-foot gate where you could open up a little door and jump in. I was having to jump over, and as y'all saw, I'm not really great at jumping over fences. Sometimes, you know, you need to get over in there with them and kind of push them along a little bit. And having a man gate here, and actually having a man gate back here, where these panels touch the barn, and maybe even having a man gate right here would be very convenient. It's not necessary, but man, it would have made this weekend a little bit easier without having to. It would have just made it easier to maneuver myself as I was trying to maneuver them. So we may look at doing that. It's not something we have to do immediately. But yeah, I got to hand it to Lakeland. This design for the spin chute is pretty good. They thought it through, and everything about it worked exactly as we had hoped that it would. So